Well, here we go again. It is March 24th, and in the last week we've had two mass shootings almost back to back. All in total, between those two, I believe 16 people have been killed. Now, after the incident in Colorado, ain't it funny how all summer Biden, Kamala, they all talked about defund the police, this and all that mess. The minute a police officer is killed in the line of duty in a shooting that they can push for political narrative, all of a sudden they feel sorry and they're sympathetic. It's funny how that works. But then a notification come across my phone last night, and I almost clicked record and started talking then, but then I thought, well, maybe I ought to calm down first, because I was very upset, because now Biden wants Congress to give police officers, the authority to go door to door and confiscate guns without a warrant. And to basically go door to door and take your guns. Everybody who said over the last 7-8 years, however long it's been since this really kicked off hot and heavy, that will never happen. Well, you might want to wake up and smell the coffee. We are in a government where that can happen. Now, the reason why Joe Biden is asking Congress to do it is because he needs somebody else to take the political hit for that. Because that is political suicide. And it is. Because if Congress follows through with that, the House, the Senate, every politician involved will lose their seat in the next election. I guarantee it. And here's why. Because that immediately violates your Fourth Amendment right, your Second Amendment right. Well, of course, they don't care about Second Amendment, but that'll immediately violate your Fourth Amendment right to illegal search and seizure, but they seem to not care about that. And the amount of people that are clapping and cheering right now for that is sickening. When are you people going to wake up? Is it going to be after they actually come and take the guns away? Is it going to be when they take the ARs away? Because when they're done with that, if you think we give up the AR-15s and the quote-unquote assault weapons, which nobody is in possession of a legitimate assault rifle outside of somebody who owns a pre-86 band machine gun or somebody with a manufacturer's permit. I'm sorry to tell you, but CNN lied to you. You cannot walk into a store and buy an assault rifle. What you see on the shelf, that's not an assault rifle. That is a sporting rifle. And the words AR and AR-15, they do not stand for assault rifle. They stand for Armalite. Don't believe me? You can just type it in Google. Wikipedia comes up within seconds. Now, if you think for 1 minute, if we let them, if nobody fights this and we give up the ARs only account for 1% of gun deaths in this country. 1%. And no, I'm not. That's not from a YouTube video off of somebody who's biased. I've done my own research through the FBI, the ATF, every agency I can think of that might have some form of authority on this. I have gone back. I've looked. I've gone back as far as the 80s. Yeah, as far back as the 1980s, and done my own research. Rifles cause less than 1% of gun deaths in this country. And that's with the supposed uptick in shootings as of late. Do you know what accounts for more gun deaths than anything? Handguns. So ARs is the low-hanging fruit. They take the ARs away. The next time a shooting happens, then they're going to come for your handguns. Maybe, and then all of you people will wake up, because then all of a sudden, your pistol you keep for protection is up for grabs. Then you'll feel naked without your gun most of you who bought a gun last year during the pandemic, most of you probably bought a handgun. There might have been a large group of you that may have bought an AR or a shotgun, but I'm willing to bet most of you bought a handgun. They take the ARs away, they're coming for your handguns next. And for all you people out there who think, well, they can have that as long as they don't come from my hunting rifles. All they have to do is rewrite the definition of an assault weapon. They have done it over and over and over and over again since the Hughes Amendment in '86. They take away the ARs. All they gotta do is rewrite the definition of an assault weapon, and bam, they could take away your shotguns. Then you think, oh well, at least they ain't gonna take my deer rifle. Okay, they've already tried. I think it was about, I want to say maybe 2 years ago. I could be off on that. There was a mass shooting, and all of a sudden they wanted to say that every rifle with a scope on it was a sniper rifle. So yes, they are. So you make no mistake, they're not going to stop with the ARs. They are not going to stop until we have no guns, period. And when they're done taking guns, you know what they're coming with next? This is going to sound cliche as all get, but I don't care. You see this right here? After they've taken all your guns, they're coming for those. They're already trying to. By saying things like, the Bible is not inclusive enough. The Bible is this, the Bible is that. I'm sorry, it wasn't written. It was written thousands of years ago by a bunch of real men. Yes, I said it, men. Well, okay, if you do your research, there may or may not be a book written by a woman. I could be wrong about that. I am not an expert. I just know what I've read. Anyway, that's why. When the guns are gone, they have us. We are at their mercy. Then they can openly do whatever they want. The Second Amendment, when it was written, it didn't have jack to do with hunting or fishing. Sorry, take fishing out of there. Hunting or self-defense or any of that nature. It was a check on the government itself. When it was written, we were at war with a king. And yet again, what did we do? Supposedly the most popular president in history is sitting in office right now. Well, he's not acting like a president now, is he? All of you now you know. Now you having buyer's remorse. You didn't elect a president. All of you who actually did go vote for him, you didn't elect a president, you elected a king. All this talk about Donald Trump acting like a king over 4 years, look who's laughing now. They will not stop. After they took the guns away, then they can come up and say, oh, well, now we can mandate whatever we want, and the people have to bend and obey. Now, I don't have the definition in front of me. Maybe I'll do another video about that at some point. But with the Second Amendment, I love it when people point to the word militia and say it's only meant for the military. No, it is not. Do you know who the militia actually is? It's you, the citizen. And until the early 20s, there was a law on the books in this country that if you were military age, by law, you had to possess a rifle and X amount of rounds of ammunition. Do you know why we did that? To protect this nation from more than just the possibility of a tyrannical government that is also in place in the event of an invasion. But you sit in your ivory towers and you think, oh, that can never happen. Yes, it can. Yes, it can. Do you know what stopped Japan from invading mainland USA during World War II? Because they asked the Prime Minister of Japan this. They got close enough. They could have at least made an attempt. Do you know why the Prime Minister of Japan said there would have been a gun behind every blade of grass? I want you to think about that. So I guess now, if you're not going to wake up and see what's going on, then I can't help you. Maybe then, when they hire some doctor to stand on stage after the guns are gone, of course, and tell us that you can no longer trust in these right here, in these little leather books that for most people collect dust in a drawer, that you can no longer trust in that. You can now have to trust in science and the government. Maybe then you'll wake up. But I don't think I have to tell you what's coming when that day comes.